The coast near Lizard Point in Cornwall is a place of great beauty, with steep wave-battered cliffs rising above small coves and hidden beaches. There, the sea has always shaped the lives of those who live nearby, and as many fishermen know, it hides many secrets and mysteries. If you walk along the coast, you'll find many strange things that have been washed up on the shore. But nothing stranger than what was found by an old man from Cornwall about 400 years ago. The man's name was Luti, and he lived in a country house in the small village of Corantin, now Curi, near Moulion. It was a fine summer day, the sun shining in a clear sky. He was walking along one of the coves near Lizard Point. The tide had gone out, leaving a wide stretch of sand. He was walking around there, looking at the shells and the debris that had washed up on the beach, when he saw, in a deep pool left by the falling tide, a beautiful lady. She had long golden hair and was sitting on a rock. She looked very upset and was crying. Unfortunately, when he approached, she jumped from the rock into the pond, and to his astonishment, he saw that she was a mermaid. He was curious and a little alarmed, because he had heard many stories from the fishermen of Woonwallow about the danger of such sea mermaids. He wanted to run home, but thinking about her pitiful cries, he carefully approached the pool. He could see that the mermaid was also very scared as she tried to hide among the rocks between the seaweed. "Don't worry about me," he said. "I'm an old man, I won't hurt you. What are you doing alone at this time of day?" At first, she was too scared to speak. Then, crying bitterly, she begged him to leave. The old man told her again that he didn't want to hurt her, but that he couldn't leave her when she was so upset. "What makes you sad, young lady?" he said. His kind voice made the mermaid swim closer to the rock. She looked at him with big green eyes, and after a little more persuasion, told him her story. She was swimming near the shore with her husband and children. Tired of the blazing sun, the man suggested swimming to a cave he liked in Kainansku. They entered the cave at half tide. There was some soft grass, and the cave was delightfully cool. Her husband fell asleep and told her not to wake him until the tide changed. Tired from playing, the little ones settled down. He had left the cove in search of food and smelled a beautiful aroma on the summer breeze coming from the flowers growing at the tip. So she had let herself be carried by the waves to get as close as possible. Her mind, lulled by the sweet perfume, hadn't noticed the tide going out until she found herself stranded in the pool on that rock. Now she couldn't return to her husband and her family. She looked back at the sea, and looking once more at the long dry sandbar, she began to cry again. "What should I do?" she said. "I must go back to the cave." The old man tried to comfort her, but she told him that if her husband woke up and found her gone, he would be very angry. She was supposed to hunt for food for his dinner. She would make sure he woke up when the tide changed, since it was time for dinner. If no food arrived, he would raise a storm in his fury and in all likelihood eat the children, since men were very savage when they had hunger. The old man was horrified and asked what he could do to help. She pleaded for him to take her to the sea. If he was so kind, she would grant him 3 wishes. He immediately knelt on the rock and the mermaid embraced him with her beautiful arms. He got up from the rock and slowly carried the mermaid across the sand on his back. As he gently placed her in the sea, she thanked him and asked what he wished for. "I don't ask for gold or silver, but for the power to do good, break curses, heal illnesses, and find stolen objects." The mermaid gladly gave him these powers. She told him that he should come to the mid-tide rock the next day, and that she would tell him how to achieve the things he wanted. Then, taking a comb from her golden hair, she gave it to him and told him to comb the water with it when he reached the rock. The next day he went to the rock, combed the water, and the mermaid appeared. She thanked him again for his help and began to tell him many magical things. He learned how to break witches' spells, how to prepare a glass of water that would reveal the face of a thief, and the healing power of seaweed and herbs. She told him that as long as he kept the comb, she would come to him every time he combed the water with it. Then, with a smile, she jumped off the rock and disappeared. They met several times after that, and the old man learned many secret things. Once the mermaid's curiosity got the better of her, she persuaded her old friend to take her to a secret place, from where she could see more of the dry land, and of the strange people with split tails and strange clothes who lived there. When he took her back to the sea, she asked him to visit her at her home and even promised she would make him young if he did. To this, the old man gently said no. Instead, he remained at his country house, and he became known as a strong healer who could charm away the worst of luck. And he passed this knowledge on to his children, along with a magic comb. The rock where they met became known as Rock of the Mermaids. And if you doubt this story, visit the coast and ask about Mermaid Rock. Soon they'll tell you where it is. You might even get lucky and see a mermaid yourself. But remember, such magic only happens to those who truly believe. I am El DoQmentalista, and this was the Rock of the Mermaids.